Welcome to Tea in the Garden, a hilariously human spiritual podcast. Here, ancient wisdom is remembered and every conversation is a wild ride.
We're three neurodivergent witchy women rooted in curiosity, creativity, and conscious living, here to spill the tea on what really matters.
From psycho-spiritual theory to ancient history, shadow work to entrepreneurship, we're not afraid to go deep, get brutally honest, and laugh a lot along the way.
I'm Lauren New.
I'm Savannah Alloway.
And I'm Priscilla Doak. Come sip the cosmic tea with us.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. We're talking the 7 stages of trauma bonding. Boom, boom, boom. And 7 signs that it was actually control, or maybe is actually control and not love. We have all been there. We have all been empaths in the narcissist empath dynamic. So we know the ins and outs, and we're going to bring it to you today.
Yes. I think there's a very, very interesting energetic attachment as a collective that happens between highly sensitive people, highly empathic people, and narcissists. And there's so much reason as to why this is, and we're going to talk about some of this throughout the episode today. So these are things that we really encourage you, if you at all identify as neurodivergent, as highly sensitive, you felt like you feel very deeply your whole life. This is something that without the right education, we can very easily fall prey to. We all three have been in these dynamics, multiple dynamics at different points in our life. And spoiler alert, a lot of times we grow up with a narcissistic parent.
And so we're like, this is love. This feels
familiar, right? Yeah. And our body, even more than our brain, pulls towards people that feel that same way. So let's get into it, girls.
Okay, but first and foremost, this is your trigger warning. This episode covers trauma bonding, emotional harm, and emotional control. So if this is a tender territory for you, make sure to take care of yourself, and you can always come back to this episode at another time.
Very true. Very true.
And now that we have given you the trigger warning, we're going right into it. Stage 1 of the 7 in trauma bonding, and that is love bombing.
Oh man. This one gets me every time because I'm like, you should be obsessed with me.
Yep.
Damn it. It gets me.
My Scorpio Venus is like, this is how it's supposed to be going.
You're supposed to be devoted.
You know, this is reminding me of when my now husband first came on to me.
We were both thinking like, and he's love bombing you.
Right. They both thought he was love bombing me because he sent me like dozens of Amazon packages with all kinds of different gifts in them. Now we know that he's just an avid gift giver. Yeah,
it's his love language. And he's super neurospicy. So he also doesn't have the same masks in dating. And that's another thing, right? When neurodivergent people encounter things like this, it doesn't feel like a red flag. And sometimes it's actually not, because we do that too, but for a different reason.
What's the reason?
We do it because we don't know how to play games in dating. We don't know how to, I'm, not supposed to talk about that yet. I'm supposed to wait 3 months to tell them I love them. I'm supposed to pace myself, play it cool, be coy.
Don't double text.
We genuinely, for the most part.
That's all I text.
For the most part, we truly don't know how to do that. Or it's very difficult for us to do that. We just know how to be spontaneous and raw. Yeah. And when we feel something, when we feel connected, we share it. We share that immediately, right?
That's why this isn't necessarily a red flag to begin with. It's really important to practice discernment and to really allow time to see, is this person consistent with this? Does this last longer than the first 3 months, 4 months?
Love bombing don't even last that long.
Usually it's
like
a week.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's 6 weeks in my experience.
That's a long time to keep up that facade.
I have had it also about 2 to 3 months before that.
That's a long time to keep the facade up.
It is.
So love bombing does mimic genuine affection, but that's not what it is. This there's an intensity and an overwhelming attention. There's gifts at times. Gifts that are disproportionate. So
Right,
I'll say
that's
like
future faking.
When future faking, put a pin in that.
Yeah,
When
that's a
Sam
big one.
first sent my gifts, they weren't like crazy gifts. It was like a plushie,
Something
like
useful
a
for
crystal
you.
bracelet. Right. It was like things that were pretty low brow. It wasn't like a diamond necklace. Right. I think it's the intensity of the gifts.
Yeah.
And then you said the future faking.
Yeah.
What
a
is
big
that?
one.
What is that?
Okay, so future faking is talking about the future, learning. What they love to do is they love to learn about you, your wants, your needs, your desires, your preferences.
Which is normal for dating.
Right, but then they will
then-
mold themselves into that to get you to think that it's going to be like this forever, that they want the same things you want. In reality, it's a manipulation tactic.
Right, and this is the tricky thing with this whole topic, but especially like this, what we're talking about with love bombing in these initial phases, is narcissists are masters at disguising themselves, even to themselves. When they find someone that makes them feel really good, that makes them feel seen and understood, which we tend to be those people. We
For everyone.
we
Yes.
see that in everyone. That's the thing, right? We see that in everyone. But especially for the sob stories, they went through all these things. And now this is why when we have this psychological analysis happen with these people, we are like, well, we understand why they have this trauma. Why did they act avoidant? We make these type of excuses from empathy and understanding. And this gives this person the space to know, number one, they can get away with it with us. And if they just act as the person that they know we want, we will have an emotional attachment enough that when they start to reveal their true colors, we're already in too deep. And that was in my exact experience in my worst relationship that I had with a narcissist. I got to this point where it was like right around 3 months in that I was completely in love at that point. And right then, of course, as soon as I let my guard down and I was like, I love you too, weeks after he had told me he loved me, it was a 180, like a completely different person. All of a sudden, I'm the one feeling like overly attached. I'm the one feeling like grabbing on, when it was like completely reversed in the beginning, right? So it was like perplexing to see that switch up. And it was because he knew like it worked. He got me, he had the love, and now the real thing came out.
So let's go to part 2, stage 2, which is trust and dependency. How does someone get you to need them? What does that grooming actually look like in day to day?
Well, like Priscilla was saying, in the love bombing phase, they really get you attached, right? They play on and prey on your emotions, your wants, your needs, your desires. And so once you become attached to that person, normal attachment, you're going to want to co-regulate with that person.
And they want to become
Everything.
your safe person.
They want to become like everything to you.
Yes.
That's another thing, right?
They become your safe person while simulaneously isolating you. So it's like, I'm the safe person.
Everyone
and
else
everyone
isn't.
else is not.
Everyone else isn't. And what I really have experienced with this in particular as well is like, oh, it's crazy to like think back on these experiences.
Now that you know these
But
stages.
this ex of mine, and I like didn't see it at all when it's happening, because it had never happened to me. This was the first relationship I had with like romantically with a narcissist, so I didn't know what I was dealing with, right? What he did for months, those first months of initial dating, was he was purposely like harvesting my deepest traumas, but not in like a we're getting to know each other, we're deeply spiritually connected like way that we just love to have deep conversations, and right? He was like exposing me to things that would bring up these like this shit I hadn't felt in so long, or like make me bawl, like certain shows or movies that were about like abusive fathers or addicts or like things he knew had happened to me. things I never normally watched, or like horror stuff, or like just weird things that like were never in my field, that all of a sudden I'd be like, whoa. Or he'd like
purposely triggering you.
Yeah, and then he'd be there.
Yeah.
And it was like so weird, and I didn't even see what was happening. And then he'd be like, clear, or he would guide me in fucking breathwork sessions.
Yeah, and this is all orchestrated
that
for
would
control.
Provoke like these like crazy body responses.
And they try to isolate you as well. So they try to...
That's the first red flag after real love bombing you might see, is like these long held friendships you've had. This person is now
come
like
under fire.
Is now like, well, I don't really like your friend that you've had for 10 years.
Yeah, and no one else sees you like I do. No one else loves you like I do. They don't understand you like I do. They're just jealous.
They really want to feel,
and they're just jealous
special.
of us and our love.
And what
if
we
someone
have.
says something about like, hey,
that is a big red flag. Look out for that one. If people are like using the language of like, just no one understands our relationship,
because it's receiving criticism.
That is such a red flag.
Yeah.
Your people will never.
She keeps looking at me because
your people will never say that to you without good reason.
Yeah, my absolute worst narcissistic trauma bond. These two came under fire almost immediately and almost broke us apart.
Yeah,
and it was so intentional to try and get me isolated.
Abusers isolate.
Yeah, they don't want you to have other people to help reflect back to you what is actually going on, because once you're attached, you have these rose-colored glasses on, and we of course only want to see the best in our partner, and so we're making excuses for them. We're already starting to justify things for them. And our outside reflections are saying, hey, I'm concerned about you. Hey, I love you. This doesn't seem healthy. And then you start to draw back. You start to pull away from those people because you want the bond.
And you feel like you have to hide, and you start feeling so much shame because you're like, wait, how did I get in this? But also, shit, I love this person and I'm not ready to leave them. Right? It's such a painful thing.
And we've already planned the rest of our lives together.
Wait, now what, right? It's like you can't even process, because this is the thing. A lot of times when you're falling in love with a narcissist, it is the greatest experience of falling in love you've probably ever had,
because of the love bombing
phase.
And this is
so
something
amazing.
Like, this is something no, but seriously, like, people don't talk about this enough.
How amazing it is.
The love of a very selfish person, of a narcissistic person, even if they just have narcissistic traits, is addicting.
It's like an addictive relationship.
Chemically addicting, not just
a drug,
not just like energetically. This is a proven thing that happens to your brain, to your nervous system.
And heroin, for example, a very classic opiate drug, is only good the first like 1 to 2 times, and after that you just need it. You don't get high anymore.
Yeah.
You just need it to survive.
Yes, exactly like that.
It's literally the same. I have to mention, in the love bombing phase, moving into that second phase of engineering that false dependency and trust, we have to mention sex. Especially
it is amazing.
Yeah,
it is. She's like, it is so passionate, so just
it'll
like
be really good. It'll be really good.
Yeah, of course.
Shit.
Yeah.
It'll be like the best sex of your whole life, and like,
because again, they will do whatever they know you want to be, because again, it's all about, they care more than anything about how they're being perceived, not about you or what you actually need or being there for you because they love you. It's because they love your reflection. They love you walking around the world next to them. They love having your attention. They love having your power. They love how you make them feel. How it looks to other people is a big one too.
Well, you have someone who needs everything to be about them, and then you have an empath who makes their entire life about other people.
Exactly why it happens.
Like, that's exactly.
Here's my heart. Take it. You can do whatever you want
and you
with it.
think in the love bombing phase it's an equal trade, but it's not.
So what happens after we have been love bombed and we have attached and isolated?
Oh,
where do we go with that?
It starts breaking down into criticism
pretty quickly,
into making you begin to question your value.
Just a little.
And it starts so small.
So
and this,
subtle.
Again, you don't know until you know. You don't know until you know. Like, seriously, it's my whole life I grew up honestly judging other people who had been in these dynamics because I watched my own mother in this dynamic, and as a child witnessing it, I was like, I would never tolerate that. Like, why do you let dad talk to you that way? Why do you let dad do this to you?
It's so insidious.
And so I like, you know, really was very conscious to go to the opposite. And I actually did. For most of my relationships, I went the other side of the spectrum. The safest, most stable, quiet, boring guys that could not hurt me. You know, and I did that for a while, and then I swung the other direction, as it happens. And only through living it I realized, like, oh my God, this is how it happens, because it really does start so small.
So subtle.
Yeah.
It begins at these like teeny little jokes. It starts so much with jokes and little digs that are all banter and fun. Haha, funny. That doesn't actually feel good. It doesn't feel funny.
Yeah.
And it starts to accumulate more and more until the very things that they love bombed you about, that they said they adored about you, become the exact things that they weaponize. When
Like,
you felt really like they compliment, maybe you felt like the sexiest you've ever felt when you're dating them. You're like, wow, I've never felt somebody so attracted to me, or like I feel so sexy because they compliment me all the time. They make me feel so good in my body. 3 months later, you've never felt worse. Yeah. They're starting to say like they didn't like this little part of your belly in the dress that you wore, or when you were having sex, they make weird comments, like so many little things. Yeah.
Or they're so in love with you, but they explain their ideal person to you, and it's the
not,
exact opposite
and you're like,
of
comparison.
you.
And you're like,
the comparison.
Oh, that's such a big one.
It starts so small,
That's
right?
such a big
It starts little by little, piece by piece. And narcissists do not choose weak women. They choose strong, confident women.
Because they want to break them down.
So that they can slowly, over time, siphon their confidence, siphon their strength for themselves, right? So it really does start with like, oh yeah, I'm actually attracted to this, and it's nothing that you are.
Yeah.
Or they'll,
she's
tell you
hot.
stories. They'll tell you stories about their past conquests.
They say things that really like get in your head, even if you're not insecure or anxious. Let me just say, like, you could be a very secure person going into the relationship, like we have been, like in the past, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like, and then you start questioning, because you're an empath. You start going in this horrible cycle of self-doubt and questioning your reality, because they're making you question it all the time, which we're going to get to.
I wonder, it would be like someone would be like, I really like short girls to Priscilla.
Yeah.
Or I really like tall girls.
And you're like,
you know what I used to get?
What am I supposed to do with that information? Or, like, why are you telling me this?
Or I really like blondes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Love you blondes, but I'm not blonde. You know what I'm saying?
I used to get a lot of, I really like skinny, petite girls.
Tiny.
I'm a full-figured Latina. Yeah. Like, why are you with me?
And like, why are you even saying that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
And it's not like, oh, just she's pretty. It's like this feature is nice.
So looking back at my worst relationship, I journaled a lot. And in the love bombing phase, I write, he's so different. He's not like any man I've ever met. He's so amazing. And then as soon as the isolation and the criticism started, all of my journal prompts are, I'm so confused. Is this what love feels like? Love is supposed to be peaceful. Why don't I feel peaceful?
How long did that take? How long was that timeline?
2.5 months.
Yeah.
2.5 months, and I started really questioning myself. I really started questioning my worth. I really started having a hard time with comparison, and they train you, right? They train you so that you're always looking for it, so that you can prevent the separation or the criticism. And so in my journal prompts, once I was out of the relationship and I went back and was like, let's review what the fuck just happened. It was like night and day. Oh, I did, and I had to.
But it shows you a lot.
And I had to, because I have CPTSD.
Yeah.
And I have been gaslit in the past in my family and in other situations. And so for me, journaling became a tool for myself to remember things and to reflect and look back. And I'm so glad I did now, because the stages are so clear to me now that I'm out of the trauma bond. seeing exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
But so a key to notice here is confusion. If you start feeling confused,
confusion is huge.
And you're like working so hard to get back to where you
it
just
was.
were, because you're not that far out of it. You're like, wait, let's just
And you're
realign.
like, wait, but it felt so like, wait, like, can we just like go back to last week? And one thing I'll share just on as a note on this before we go to the next stage is like, I notice, and I don't know if this is always true or not, but something that I experienced is I had never felt more emotionally understood than I did with a narcissist.
Oh, why do you think that is?
And I think this is such a fascinating thing. Of course, I've analyzed it for years, like why. I think it, of course, has a huge thing to do with growing up with a parent who's a narcissist, who was my emotional parent. My emotional parent was my narcissistic father. And here's the thing that also we really misunderstand, because I think this topic is talked about so much now, right? Everybody's throwing this word around. What people really fail to understand about what narcissism actually is, this is not psychopathy, this is not sociopathy. These are very emotional people.
Clearly.
These are very emotional people. People miscorrelate the trait of narcissism with like they think it's more like, right?
You're a
they
sociopath, you're a
interchange,
psychopath.
you don't have feelings, you don't care. That's
no.
false. They actually care a lot. They actually do love you to the extent they can love,
Totally.
At
which
their
is a
capacity.
big caveat, right? But what's something we really can't understand is that we are going to feel so deeply understood by them because they actually have, and I know this is a little chilling to say, a lot of overlap with empaths.
it's just
They
the
develop in
opposite.
They do.
They oftentimes
really
have
do.
the same traumas, which is why we can feel so close and so understanding to them.
yes.
And they just chose an opposite path to cope.
to shielding themselves, right? And that's all it is. It's a very high level self-protection mechanism. But they are very deep feelers, and so a lot of times when you're connecting with them, you're like, whoa, this is a breath of fresh air, like you wrote in your journal. I've never actually connected with a man or a woman like this before. You just feel like, and it's completely trauma bonding.
Yeah.
99% of the time, right? But there is that factor there, so look out for that.
Empaths and narcissists develop in the same environment.
They do.
Yep. They're just the opposite side of the
It's
coin.
the left and the right hand path.
Are you a highly sensitive empath looking to master your natural healing gifts? Have you felt your whole life that you were meant for something more? This is your invitation to join the National Intuitive Academy. Develop your psychic gifts, read tarot and astrology birth charts, authentic yoga, Reiki certifications, shamanic rites, Ayurvedic medicine, classical tantra. You are not alone. Join a community of empathic beings and teachers dedicated to your growth. We will help you master ancient healing sciences and develop spiritual business and marketing skills. Become the healer you are meant to be. Are you ready to start your journey?
All right.
So then after we have that derailing where the criticism and devaluation comes in stage 3, we move into the thick of it, stage 4, manipulation,
And
gaslighting, mistreatment.
This part gives me chills.
Yes, this is where you are not just confused, but you start to feel like you're crazy.
This is where you actually feel like you're legitimately losing your fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not a fun place to be. It is not.
This is where the abuser wants to skew and dismantle your inner knowing and thereby your sovereignty, so that you will stop trusting yourself and so you only have them to trust.
Yeah. Which is, it's so devious, right? Because
It really is.
we do so much work as empaths to come into ourselves and to know ourselves and to be able to listen to our intuition. And then once we get into that trauma bond and we have been devalued and we've been isolated and we're just
long enough.
and we're just looking to that abusive partner as our guiding light, it can be so confusing.
I think the most challenging part of this stage is, like you just said, Lauren, you have done so much work a lot of the times. If you encounter this relationship dynamic at some point after you've already started your healing journey, right? You've put in a lot of work in therapy, in spiritual modalities, in shadow work, internal practices to trust yourself deeply, to listen to your intuition and to the voice you suppressed for years. And when you get to this stage, get to this stage in a relationship with a narcissist, again, because it happens so slow over time, all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, I feel like my light is gone. Mm-hmm. And it is just the worst feeling. Like, I would not wish that on anyone. It's truly the most devastating thing to lose your inner compass. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have, had so many moments in my spiritual path that have taken me away from my compass. And now, after all of those experiences, I know so clearly that, like, truly the number one thing I will run away from at all costs is anything that remotely brings me to that again, because there is nothing in the world, no love, no material wealth, no spiritual wealth that is worth losing your inner compass. Mm-hmm.
And they do this with the acronym DARVO.
Yeah, this is
right.
A good
so
one.
That's the gaslighting acronym.
Yes. So this is when you find something, you're starting to really see who they are. The mask has come off. Mm-hmm. Typically, there's a lot of lies. There's a lot of things that are hidden. There's a lot of mistreatment. And then when you say something about it, first off, they will deny. D stands
for deny.
Yes. And it is, as empaths, we want to understand,
You're like,
right?
Wait, how are you? What do you mean?
I literally have black and white proof here.
And they're like, no, you don't.
Right.
No, you don't. And you're like, but I do? No, you don't. Wait, do I?
Yeah.
And it's like crazy the psyops that happen with it.
And then A stands for?
I'm looking it up. Hold on.
I know what it is.
Okay, you say the words. Accuse. So then
that shots fire back.
Flip the script. They immediately.
You think I'm cheating? You think I'm lying? It must be because you're cheating. You're lying. And then you're like, wait.
So you think I'm a terrible person?
So I must just be an asshole.
I must just be an asshole then.
Well, maybe they are. You should listen to them when they tell you that.
And then the RVO is reverse victim offender.
So then they reverse it. They're the victim now. They can't believe that you're attacking them. They can't do anything right. They try so hard. They give so much, and it's never going to be enough to you. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry I couldn't meet your standards.
People with high levels of narcissism will flip the script like you truly wouldn't believe. Like it's actually mind-boggling how much they can and do it. I will give you one example of, if I can share, a really potent example of this, like, gaslighting and manipulation with this ex-narcissist of mine who was a recovering addict. A lot of times these overlap, not always, but often. And he called me one day after years of being sober and our whole relationship. He was deep in sobriety, very active in AA, and he says, like, he was having this hard moment, all these bad things were happening at work, and he calls me and says, like, I want to go drink. And of course I take that so seriously, and so I'm on the phone with him,
which is already a manipulation. Mm-hmm. We're already manipulating.
And what happened earlier that day, he said some horrible things to me. And I ignored it all because I was like, I need to make sure he's okay and he's not going to drink. So I put it all aside. Just some really nasty stuff. I think he even accused me of being racist.
Which is hilarious.
But like, that's a whole other thing.
Guys, I know Priscilla's not racist. All her Sims are black. No, but that's the thing. Like, if you see someone play The Sims and they only have white Sims.
But he calls me, right? And he's saying this. So, of course, I put aside all my personal hurt. I'm like, we'll talk about that later. Let me just be there for him. So I'm talking him off the ledge. I'm doing everything. I'm like already getting emotional talking to him because not only is this the person I love and this is a big deal for him to relapse, but I've been on the other side of that conversation for 20 fucking years in my life with my father. So, and he knows this, right? He knows how many times I was put in that position with my father, feeling like his life is in my hands, like a horrible position.
You're responsible for their well-being.
Right, many codependents of alcoholics and addicts go through this, right? So he goes through, then he tells me, like, I was like, can you please talk to your sponsor? I'm not going to talk to my sponsor. Please, I really think you should reach out to them. At least can you talk to this mentor guy of yours? No. And then he ignores me for multiple hours. And then I just crying, freaking out, thinking this person I love is going to relapse. I'm just so concerned about him.
Which he loves the attention.
Says nothing to me that night. The next morning, he like shows up to my house, acts totally normal, like nothing happened. Like nothing happened.
Whew.
And he sits
gaslighting.
Sits down at my kitchen counter and starts making small talk. And I was like, we need to talk about what happened last night. Like, did you relapse? Like, are you okay? And then we're going to talk about everything you said to me that was absolutely inappropriate, but like, I need to make sure you're okay. And he goes, oh, Priscilla, I was never going to drink.
Deny.
And I would literally, I've never been more shocked. My mouth falls open like a cartoon. And I'm like, brain is like, huh? And he goes, I was just testing you to see if you would reach out to my sponsor and my friends when I told you not to.
Tests.
And see if you would tell them that I was trying to drink when I told you. Like,
first off, why don't you want to talk to your sponsor? That's weird.
But it was all just like, what? Who knows what even the truth was and all of that, right?
Yeah, that's part of the manipulation.
Literally was like, burst into tears.
Did you reach out to them?
I didn't. I was like very close.
So you did pass the test. You were not rewarded for it, I'm sure.
I wasn't. But immediately I burst into tears, of course, and I'm just like, actually flabbergasted. My little innocent brain could not comprehend any of how someone could do that intentionally, that level of manipulation, send me into a panic attack for your well-being while also emotionally abusing me.
It's a power play.
And then tell me that it was all a test. That's wild. And that is what got me to leave, actually. That was...
Wow.
So I'm very proud of myself for that.
Okay, good.
That was my, I sat there and I was like, that is unbelievably unacceptable.
It's so selfish.
I will not be part of this.
They will do some of the most terrible, heart-wrenching things to you.
Like that.
And then act like it's no big deal. Mm-hmm. Act like...
Not even talk about it.
Yeah, one of the things that happened in my worst relationship were, he would do absolutely terrible things. Domestic violence, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, and then me being a deep feeler, it would take time for me to process.
Yeah, you're still feeling upset.
And if I couldn't get over it quickly, or if I was upset about anything, it was like I am negative and I harbor all this bad energy. And it's a control, right? You have to be the bad one,
and
so
you
that
have
they
to be
can
happy
be the good
all
one.
the time.
Yeah,
we talk about one manipulation that's happened to me. I know it's happened with Lauren. I don't know about you. Is you finally are like, this is too much, I'm leaving, I can't do this, and the return, trigger warning, suicide, is I'm gonna kill myself. Well, then I'm gonna kill myself.
I've seen that.
Yep.
I've seen that. It's
Lord.
It's
similar to that. Well, then I'm gonna drink.
Yeah. And I just can't be without you.
They threaten themselves
to
to manipulate you, but they're not actually gonna do it. It's for attention.
Right.
Oh man, that is just.
But you don't know that, right? And you can't play with that.
Of course you don't.
You don't know.
And you love them, so even if you were doubting it, you'd still participate because you care and you're a human that has a heart, right?
The only thing that worked for me in that situation, because that happened so many times in this relationship that I've been referencing, to the point where I called his work, I called his friends, I called his father.
I'm gonna kill myself, turns off phone, has a weapon with him, right? I had to have my daughter's father come to my house at 5 a.m. so I could go find him because he turned off his location, right? All these things. And then, the only thing that finally got him to stop doing that was when the 4th or 5th time I was like, the next time you do this, I am going to call the authorities because I do not want you to harm yourself.
When you hold a serious boundary, that drives them crazy.
Yeah, and I would hate to do it, but if that's what's going to keep you from self-harm, I will do that. But he acted like it was the biggest biggest betrayal.
Of course. Then it's that you're evil. You're the villain. You violated our relationship. Lauren, how could you? Are you not loyal? Do you not love me?
I got that a lot too.
Telling
Telling me I was bad in the relationship.
Oh man,
there's a
lot.
This is a lot to talk about, guys.
It's important.
We gave you a trigger warning.
It's important to know a narcissist can only handle psychologically ever being either the hero or the victim. They cannot mentally, in their ego, they cannot physically handle ever being the bad guy. And that is why they Darvo. Or just throw everything out and be like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to go drink. I'm going to go, like, just
because
self-harm.
As if anything makes them question. This is the thing, though, right? Again, narcissists are the ultimate abusers to themselves, like the ultimate liars to themselves. So because they've created such a facade internally about who they are out of such deep fear, when you at all reflect a clear mirror of truth back to them, even about a behavior that they've done, that makes them think does not compute with their false self they've created, that is perfect, that has to perform perfectly, that is the perfect everything and the perfect lover, the perfect partner, right? You're a threat immediately, and they will absolutely act like a cornered animal. It's the best word I can say for what I've witnessed when narcissists are faced with someone who just refuses to play into the illusion, into the delusion of what they're talking about, and you continue to say, no, you said this was not okay. No, you did this was not okay with me. They will start acting like a wild beast that's in the corner. Yeah. And they will
say unbelievable things.
Unreal things.
And then pretend they didn't happen.
Yeah.
Unbelievable things.
And by the way, let's talk about what a healthy relationship would look like. Hey, Priscilla, something you said earlier really hurt my feelings.
That actually makes me so sad. I had no idea.
Yeah.
How can I do better tomorrow?
Well, it was this thing and that hurt me because of this reason. So if you could just not say that to me.
Okay.
See how easy that was?
Yeah. And so in order for, once we're trauma bonded and all of this is happening, we're so far in that in order to maintain the relationship, the only way to maintain the relationship is to begin fawning.
Yup.
Oh, this part gets me more than anything.
You've already lost your light. You've already shrunk, and now you just have to belly up at them.
So that you can keep it,
and
so that you can stay.
You are so addicted and deep in this vortex. Your self-esteem is whittled down to pretty much nothing, by the way.
We're both like, oh.
Yeah. Your self-esteem is gone. Yeah. And you have no friends either.
Yeah.
Or,
we've kept our friends.
But listen, you guys were the only ones that were maintained. All of my other connections, friendships,
especially in person,
could not be maintained anymore because there was no room and you couldn't hide it, right? I couldn't hide when I was emotionally on empty. I couldn't hide that all of my energy and all of my time and all of my mental power was going towards maintaining this relationship. And the only reason, I truly believe the only reason I was able to get out of this is because you guys would not let me go. I'm gonna get emotional. But seriously, I truly believed I was saved through friendship and you guys reminding me that this is not normal, but you're not gonna leave me through it. Like, because I started hiding stuff.
Still here, but like this also, we hate that you're hurting, and we're gonna tell you that.
Exactly, and a good friend will do that. But I've seen so many people. We've had friends that we've spoken to who are the friend of the person in the narcissistic relationship, and they're like, I don't think I can take this anymore. Like, I'm gonna have to stop being friends with them.
Which is like I get it.
It's valid.
But yeah, it's very hard, right? Because but when you understand, you understand.
I literally thought you were gonna do that for like many more years than you did.
I think it would have killed me.
I'm so
genuinely.
That's how it feels that way too. It really genuinely it feels, especially again as a highly empathic medicine person. It's worse than death. Yeah, I think it's worse than death.
And because we feel so deeply, and then
your self is gone.
Yeah, it's all gone.
There's nothing worse than that. And like in the process of this and this stage, right, 5 of fawning, right? Oh, this part I don't know. This also
and resignation.
This hits me so emotionally too because, again, a lot of times I think there are some parallel patterns that happen for a lot of us in our childhood and how we, of course, wind up in a relationship like this. And I think fawning is just so despicable of an experience. Not that there's shame in it.
It's a survival mechanism.
It feels so awful.
Can we talk about what it is if anyone doesn't know?
Yes.
So you have your fight and flight response, right? There's 2 more. There's freeze and fawn. And fawning, I feel like, is the most common for empaths, and that's basically to play dead.
Right. Well, let's give an example. You
belly up.
Yeah. When somebody brings, like, you bring the narcissist an issue and they're like, deny, counter accuse, you start apologizing. You stop bringing things to them. You stop confronting them. You stop
you
being the issue.
You start to concede in places that you are actually not okay with, but you have become okay with in order to stay. Fawning is...
to keep the peace.
What it, like the word, almost like a deer, right? If a predator is there, instead of running away or fighting the predator, I make the predator love me. That is fawning.
Yeah.
You know you're with the predator, you're with the enemy, and in order to survive, you make sure they really like you. You make sure you don't upset them. The biggest thing
Walking
with fawning is
eggshells.
eggshells. Like, exactly, that's what I mean. That's why this one gets me so much, because it's a very, very, I think it's a hard thing to cope with in my own experience, like loving and accepting that behavior in yourself. Even though you know it was never your fault, logically, it feels so gross because you're like, I wish I could have fought. I wish I could have, I don't know, done something else. But of course, you're just a kid, or even if you're not, even if you're an adult that winds up in this, it's a survival mechanism, and you can't blame yourself. But it's really hard. It's really hard to like love and forgive that part of yourself that gets into that situation. And I think as women, certainly we fall way more prey to this survival mechanism than men do. And I think one very challenging thing throughout my life experience is that a lot of times the men are in my world, even the ones that are genuinely good men and love me, friends and family, like often cannot understand this response. They're like, why, I love you, but like, why didn't you just walk away? Or like, it's hard for them to understand what happens to a woman's body when a threatening male, especially, not always male, right, is in their space. Right? Like what your body actually goes through.
And the ones, because we don't always fawn, right? I'm a fighter, so you
can have a mix.
I would respond back sometimes.
Or throwing punches.
Right? I would respond back and not back down, and it would become physically unsafe. It would become physically violent. So at some point I had to just shut up.
I gotta concede.
Right. But the ones that don't fawn immediately or don't always fawn are labeled crazy, are labeled violent. Like my abuser used to, in conversations with other people that we knew, would say that I was the crazy one and I was the violent one. But it was simply a response to the abuse that was happening where I couldn't take it anymore.
That part, though.
There is a difference between abuse and reactive abuse. And then they will say, here's the Darvo, you are the abuser. You are the one abusing me. Because when you're actually just fighting back.
Oh, man.
There's layers, y'all.
Yeah, man, there's layers to that,
and
too.
so this resignation and this fawning, and it's just exhausting. It does. You are already a shell.
It's a full-time job.
Now the shell is like crumbling.
Yeah.
And so we move into phase 6, the loss of self.
You no longer are yourself independently of the relationship, and your entire identity is centered around the narcissist.
Which is what they want.
Right.
They break you down to get you to that point.
Yeah. So you no longer act the way you would act. You no longer do the things that you loved. You no longer will behave in the way that is true to you. And like from my personal experience, I just felt empty. I felt so empty.
You're just depleted.
It was just
exhausted.
It was normal to be depressed. It was normal to be exhausted.
Yeah, absolutely. You do get to that point because you got nothing left. It takes your full energy. And it's not only is your energy being taken, but also then it takes all the rest of it for you to just cope up with the reality that's happening around you and to just get through the insane emotional highs and lows that are dropping you and dysregulating you in and out all the time. Like it is your body is in a war zone, is what it feels like. Physically to you, your body and your brain doesn't really know the difference. And I think one of the biggest things to look out for, if you're like, I don't know, maybe this person is or isn't, to me, like, it doesn't even matter ultimately the labels, the end all be all. What really matters is how you're feeling and what this relationship is doing to you. If you are in a dynamic where you are altering your flow, your behaviors,
censoring
the
yourself,
things that you do because you're dating this person, like you no longer are allowed to like go out, or you're allowed, but you know it's going to cause
coercive
a fight.
control, but we'll get into that.
It's coercive control.
You're not allowed to wear makeup.
Or you start to feel like you can't wear certain things.
Yeah.
You start to feel like you can't post certain things, that you shouldn't really go out with your girlfriends alone. And these are things that you were normally doing. This is an orange, if not red flag. So please, any relationship that you're in, if it's altering your natural expression, that is really something to look out for.
Pay
really,
attention.
really something.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
If that causes problems, because we say like not allowed, they're likely not going to tell you
exactly.
You're not allowed.
But
no, because I'm not controlling.
For example, I never said you weren't allowed to go out with your friends, but every time you go out with your friends, you're accused of things.
I punish you. I punish you for
harassed.
it. That's what it is.
You're cute. Yeah. Then that is coercive control. That is what coercive control is when they don't tell you explicitly that you can't, but you pay for it.
Narcissists work in punishment. And yes, it's again all about upholding image. So they're not gonna. I'm not gonna say that I'm controlling you. I'm just gonna show you in every other way possible that I absolutely am controlling you.
Yeah. And
I will punish you for not doing what I want you to do.
So your opinions, your preferences, the things you like to do,
they go down the drain.
They're gone. This is the loss of self. They fade. And this is really the rock bottom. And many people stay here for a very, very long time because you've been isolated. You've been thrown off the path of your own inner compass. There's nothing really to do. You don't know what you can do. And how are you, the only thing left in your entire life
is that relationship.
Is that person.
And that's the crazy thing when you're at this point, it feels like because everything else has been lost, what's the point of leaving at this stage? What do I have left?
Yeah.
And it's so sad, but it really feels that way. And it's not actually true, but it feels really true when you're in it.
Yeah, even the first
really
the first few weeks of leaving.
Yeah, it feels that death.
I did not want to leave, but I knew I had to leave or I was going to completely lose myself. Yeah. I was going to lose my passion. I was going to lose my chosen family. The decisions that I was making were going to affect my children. And so I literally cried through that separation and like told people, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Feels like the last thing you want to do.
It literally felt like a death. It literally felt like a detox off of a drug.
It is.
It is.
It's an addiction cycle, right? You become addicted to the limerence. And then this is a cycle that just keeps happening, right? The bad things happen. You either concede or make a small repair and you're like, you get a little bit of love. You get a little bit of a breadcrumb. And then it happens all over again. And then, the cycle continues.
Important to note, healthy relationships don't have good days and bad days.
That's honestly so real.
And true repair happens. True repair, accountability happens.
You have bad moments. You're not having bad days, and it's certainly not recurring all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, just knowing that, I feel like a key word in this whole topic, too, is excuses. When you're in a relationship that's not meant for you, period, even if it's not with a narcissist, excuses. The excuses you have to constantly put energy to make to yourself, and especially to anyone else that's asking about you, your friends and family. If you are constantly having to make a story, tell a story, oh no, but he didn't mean that, it's just that he had a really bad day today, and I have to now feel like I'm having to put in this social effort to make sure my partner doesn't look bad to my parents, to my friends, to my family. That is a big indicator.
So and that's not to say that you can't have bad moments or even tantrums.
Yeah.
If you're listening, maybe my husband has his occasional tantrum, and I'll tell him like, you're having a tantrum. He's like, I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But he, in that tantrum, he does not pick me apart.
No.
He doesn't
attack you.
He doesn't attack me. He doesn't control me. He is personally like uncomfortable with something, and he's just having emotions and expressing. It's completely different. So like, you can have full expression of emotion within a relationship and not be destructive.
Right.
And how do you know conflict resolution is healthy? And maybe we can do a whole one on this too. Is you're working with your partner to solve the problem. The problem is the problem. The other person is not the problem.
Right.
And I know this sounds actually crazy to some people, because there's very big possibility that many people have never been in a relationship like that, but it exists, I promise. And healthy people that have really worked on themselves and that are compatible with you, I might add, you'll be able to resolve a problem together without,
like we modeled in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We get mad at each other. We have bad days when we're super luteal or we're exhausted. Like, we reach our moments, and then we just say, guys, I got 0. Like, we'll say, like, I don't have a lot for you today. I'm sorry, like, my temper's short. Like,
or this is bothering me.
This is bothering me. Let me just say it. And it's like, okay, cool. Then we can address it. Like, and we can talk about it.
And there's no punishment.
No.
And it's like, it's solved very quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like
we all love each other so much. If something bothers you, it bothers me too. And
Right.
and I want to see how we can repair.
And then we also have the emotional safety to say that.
And that is exactly what you should absolutely be looking for in a romantic partner too. There's no difference with a healthy friendship and a healthy relation.
Wifey's for lifey.
Yeah. So 7, the sacred 7. Where does it bring us?
Addiction
At the
to
end
the
here.
cycle.
Yeah.
So by this point, you are addicted to the brain chemicals. That's what addiction is in the brain, right? So you're addicted to the cortisol spike, the dopamine hit, right? Because you stressed out, and then you get a breadcrumb, and that dopamine just like explodes everywhere. And you might even get some oxytocin because maybe you have makeup sex or something like this. And so
then it plummets again.
The relief of the oxytocin and the dopamine, and even this serotonin. And then you kind of ride that wave for maybe an afternoon, and then you're back to the cortisol spike, right? Yeah. And so to cure the cortisol spike, we're looking, please, a breadcrumb, please, and it's a drug, please relieve me.
And it really feels when you're in that, like, if I can just get that, I can stop being anxious.
Right.
Like, if I can just get that, I can like have a good day. If I get that, I can eat. Like, that's how it was feeling for me when I was in it. If like my brain is telling me like if he just like texts me this thing, then I can like carry on with my day, my work day, and I can teach a class and I can be happy.
But for many times they will string you along for a while without the breadcrumb.
Yeah.
So that you become
you like spiral. You feel like desperate. Like literally, you feel like an addict. Yeah.
Literally.
You act like an addict. Yeah.
Oh.
we're all like.
It's a lot. It's a lot, guys.
Selves.
Yeah.
Man.
So this is complex, guys.
Complex topic.
I do not wish this cycle upon anyone, but I also do wish that we all have the right knowledge, because with knowledge comes power. When we learn these things, we break the cycle, and because after this relationship I had with a narcissist some years back, I immediately did like years of study on this. I have never had it happen again. And I won't, because I actually know what to look for, and I will nail it down. And if I don't, my best friends will, because I make sure to tell them what's happening with people I'm dating.
The moment you're hiding stuff, if you're in trouble.
Even small things, like if something upset you with a guy or a girl or whoever that you're dating, tell your besties, because it could be nothing, and they're just like, yeah, no, fuck him for this moment. But then next day you're like, okay, we forgive him because he got you flowers or he had a good apology. Great. And it's no big deal. He was just being a human.
And it's not happening again and again and again.
Your besties will catch if you're not catching when you're being transparent. And so I really encourage, especially women, we are communal beings. We function the best in a tribe of women. Have other women checking you. If you are prone to this, if you've had a history of this especially, please be very transparent with your besties about your dating life. I do that with these two and my two best friends back in California. And because of that, across these years, it has never happened again. Not just from my own education, but because of my friends, you know? So,
yeah.
There is a cultural narrative that says don't share your relationship problems. Because,
patriarchal.
And that comes from purity culture, and that keeps women in abuse.
It does.
Yes.
Now, like,
Of course, there's intimate things that...
if you feel like something is really wrong and you want to open up to your friend about it, do it in the right context. Be like, hey, can I talk to you about something? I want to, you like, you can't see your back, but your friends can.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So it's
And
different.
they're not in the trauma bond like you are, so they can see it for what it is.
It's different, like, complaining about your man all the time, which maybe he just is shitty, right? If you're complaining about him all the time. There's a difference between that and being like, hey, what do you think of, like, blah, blah, about this?
Right. Or just, being transparent, like, about what's happening. Just being open, right, with your friends.
The moment you're hiding,
be worried.
that's how you
ask
know.
yourself why. No, and, like, be worried, and seriously,
Because
ask
you
yourself
don't want
why.
them to not like him. Well,
Why?
maybe
Why
they
not?
why?
Like, are they not going to like him exactly as he is? And if so, why are you dating him?
Yeah.
What's happening there? What's missing, you know? What excuses are you making? What stories are you telling yourself?
Okay, guys.
right.
That's the 7 stages. Take a sip. We're going to go one. We were already deep. We're going to go one level deeper.
Let's go.
Uh-oh. We're
So 7.
roundhouse kicking you here.
Uh-huh. So we've kind of mentioned a couple of these, but we're going to state them flat out just in case you might be or know someone in this type of situation. Here is the checklist.
Give it to us.
Does it pass? Does it not pass? If you're evaluating this for yourself or helping a friend, you kind of want to answer yes or no. Because it's easy to make excuses, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, but yes, but blah, blah,
Yes,
blah.
it's
Or
always
no,
but.
yes or no. Okay. Number 1, how to know if you're in this control dynamic and it's not actually love, it is a trauma bond, it is narcissistic abuse. Number 1, you monitor their mood as your responsibility.
As your full-time job.
Because if you don't, you risk getting the lash back from them.
Yes.
Right?
That's
So
the big part.
We try to monitor their mood so that we can adjust our behavior so that it does not get worse.
So we have a better day, so there's peace in the house. So that the kids don't notice, whatever the reason is, if that's like constantly happening in your sphere around this person.
Hypervigilance. Red flag.
And this is how an empath is made, by the way.
Yep, it is.
You have to be hypervigilant as a child.
Hello. Yes, it's me.
Hypervigilance
It's her.
as a child. Like for example,
Your entire childhood.
Yeah.
your parent came home and you hear them throw their keys,
And you're like,
and you go into a cold sweat. And so the rest of the
So
night
you clean up your room real quick.
yeah.
And tell them you made a snack for them.
and they look really pretty today, right? That is you monitoring their mood as your responsibility and attempting to help it,
Yep.
to avoid harm. Emotional, physical, mental, spiritual harm.
And that basically leads to second point here, which is we alter our behavior to avoid reactive situations from our partner, from this person. If you are actively changing your behavior.
Different than being considerate.
Right.
Yes.
Actively
Considerate is
changing
different.
your behavior in order to avoid an explosion.
Yeah.
In order to avoid a punishment, a lash out. Boom, boom, boom. Please listen to this.
Yeah.
Like, that is not happening in a
You
healthy
stop
dynamic.
dressing cute because they say that you're just doing that to get the attention of other guys.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to post when my job is on social media and being seen. No makeup. Any type of conversation with a man, whether it be my
Even a student, yeah.
a man on the street opening the door for me, like I would go to great lengths to not have to have any type of conversation, completely innocent, because of the backlash that would happen. I stopped going on trips. So
Going out, even if we're going out like
together.
just, like,
We were in Miami trying to live it up.
Just with like your girlfriends, who one is married. Like, we're not doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like you
And
went
she
back to
missed
the hotel
Diplo.
room.
She missed Diplo.
But, never again.
shit. You missed Diplo for this motherfucker.
Front row.
Free Diplo, thanks to yours truly.
Yeah.
Got brought to the VIP section.
So yeah, anything that you were doing before or you naturally love or is naturally part of who you are, and you stop doing that or avoid doing those things or avoid just doing normal things for the
Behavior change.
The pure basis of I don't want to upset them. Red
You're
flag.
already in trouble, baby girl.
Baby girl.
Number 3, when they're calm, you feel an overwhelming sense of relief.
Oh man.
You should that should just feel normal.
That should
Not
be-
a reward.
That is not a reward, my love. Please. Please. It's not a reward, I
That
promise.
is a normal baseline, not like a pinnacle
Baseline,
of
baseline.
reward.
Yeah.
Oh man. Number 4, you have to ask for permission to do anything. To do things, right?
And honestly,
you're an adult.
It's different when you're like, hey babe, just keeping you in the loop. This is what
Exactly.
I'm
Which is
doing.
not permission.
Informing-
That's not permission.
That's
Informing
communication.
is different than permission.
But being like, hey, the girls really want me to come up and visit. Do you think it would be okay if I went and visited?
Yeah. I think this is
As a full-grown adult.
This is one thing that I will say, just because of the blessings of the cosmos in my design of, I think, just being a crazy air sign, fire sign girl, I have never been in a controlling dynamic in my life with someone because I run like crazy with it because I'm so like free and crazy. And so for that reason though, I can really clearly spot it for my friends. And like when my girlfriends are dating, this is something that some of them fall a little more prey to, these type of guys that are a little more like those qualities and controlling. Like they'll tell me some examples like, you know, he thinks that, you know, once we're dating more seriously, like why would I be going out with my girlfriends on the weekends? Like he just, it's not that it like, you know, it's not that he's like doesn't let me, it's just that
He's not insecure.
He just doesn't like,
He's not jealous.
He just doesn't believe like women should be doing that when they're in a serious relationship. And I was like,
This is
like-
coercive control, honey.
I was like, sis.
Red flag.
We're gonna pause here for a second. And she didn't even like catch that for a while until I was like, no, like I really think you should keep an eye out on this because why are you changing at all who you naturally are and what you're doing with your time for anyone?
It's not like you're getting up on the stage at a strip club and throwing ass and like
You're just
putting
going
it
out
in
with
dude's
your
face.
friends. Like, I'm sorry, no. And if
You're going to a nice restaurant and having a drink or two.
and be with someone that doesn't give a fuck about that. Like, that's it. Like, there are people that you never have to have those conversations
The
with.
healthy response to that would be like, oh my God, I hope you have the best time. Call me when you get home.
Exactly.
Or text me and let me know you got home safe.
This asking for permission is different than like checking to coordinate. So like for example,
Yes,
I
informing.
have 10 pets.
Right.
Like I have to be like, okay, like is it feasible for me to go out?
Consideration.
Like, are you going to be home with the dogs? That's different.
Yes.
I'm talking about logistics here,
Exactly.
not it's not an
like-
emotional placation.
Yeah. And keep in mind what we talked about earlier in the coercive control. They could say sure
Yeah.
or
then,
yes.
and then punish you.
But if they still punish you, it's
you
still
get
control.
you get into a fight about it
Every
every
time.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, sign number 5. There are topics that you are afraid to bring up.
Like your emotions, your wants, your needs.
Or why do they talk to their ex so much?
Things that you just, if you open it, you know, like you actually have a pit in your stomach. That is
Things that you want to address
That you
most
want
of the
to talk
time,
about,
right?
yeah.
And
But you know,
can't.
you know that if you do, it's going to be a problem.
And there's a time and place for everything. And then, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We want to be mindful.
But-
we want to be, choose an appropriate time. But if you don't feel like there's ever an appropriate time,
Right.
if you don't feel like there's ever space for you to bring stuff up, a perfect example is like anytime I would bring something up, he would then bring up stuff that bothered
he flipped
him.
it again.
You
The
dark
dark
right.
star vote. Like it's about you now. And remember when you did this thing to me though, because you can't talk about
Yeah.
what you're hurting about. You hurt me.
Yeah. So it's immediately there being no space for your
No space.
needs, wants, desires, concerns, or sure you can, but also now we're not going to talk about you. We're going to talk about what you did to me.
Yeah. And on that note, right, like number 5 is number 6, you slowly stop doing things that you've noticed they don't like. And why does this matter in the grand scheme, right? It's about shrinking. Lauren just said a word that to me really jumps out, and I've noticed in the pattern recognition I've picked up about these dynamics. Narcissists take up all the space in a room.
And they need you to shrink.
So you can even be a very bubbly, extroverted person like me, a very like hilarious social person like Lauren, and when you're next to that person, people actually don't see that part of you anymore. And it's, again, starts to happen more over time as the longer you're with someone. But I really noticed like that was a big one that helped me start clocking, even in the initial stages of dating. If I was dating someone that, again, doesn't matter if they're considered fully a narcissist or not, but they had that quality of like, oh, I feel like there's literally no space left for me. That was like a huge thing where I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again, because I shouldn't even have to think about that. It's like equal dance of like whenever, like we don't think about that when we're with each other. We're all just free to be ourselves, and there's room for everybody.
So that brings us to point number 7. You are being controlled. You're in an abusive dynamic. You're maybe in an empath-narcissist abusive dynamic. If you feel smaller and more limited in the relationship instead of stronger and freer.
Yeah.
Your relationships should expand you, make you feel stronger,
Not contract.
more than yourself, an evolving, expanding, even better version of yourself, more free, more open, more possibilities come to you, more opportunities even come to you, instead of shrinking. In relationships, I believe you're either shrinking or you're growing.
If you don't feel like this relationship is making your life exponentially better than being by yourself,
freer,
why are you putting your time and energy to that in 2026? Ladies, I'm sorry, there's no more time for that.
No,
it's 2026. Women aren't doing this anymore. We're done. We don't do this. We're not putting our energy towards things, people, places, jobs, humans, or men that are detracting from our joy, our freedom, our sovereignty, our power. We're just not doing that anymore. And in my concluding statement, I would like to say, I think this is one of the reasons for years I have, in my own internal world and with people that I'm dating, I genuinely do not believe in the concept of falling in love or the language of it.
Falling.
I believe in rising in love. When I am with the right person, it feels like I am rising in love with them. It is not a fall. It is not a you complete me. That's bullshit. No one is there to complete you. You are not my other half, because I'm not half. I'm whole. And together, we're just unstoppable. Two
pillars.
Two unstoppable people.
Yeah.
The two pillars of the temple.
Right. But this type of language goes a long way, and we've been programmed in every possible way in our society and movies and TV to like seek for these type of trauma bonds and dynamics that are keeping us slaves to each other, you know? So no more of that. No more of that.
Healing, if you're ready to leave, if you get to that point and you're like, I can't do this anymore, and you're ready, like usually it's like when you have that last modicum of self and you're like, this is the last piece I have, I can't give this up.
Yeah. Or you realize this has just happened again and again and again and again, and it's not going to change
Until.
And I no longer want to stay in this, and I'm ready to leave.
Healing isn't leaving. Leaving is the beginning. It's that first step.
Yeah.
The real work is reclaiming who you were before you started shrinking. And I can tell you, coming out of that type of relationship, of which I've had 2, the way that I realized how I had broken my own heart, everything that I gave up. Do you remember? You remember having those realizations and being like, oh my God, I haven't been out to like a shop or the mall in months.
Oh, yeah.
And being like, I just abandoned so much about myself.
Yeah. There was like all the things around you didn't like in this beautiful place that you never got to do until like I visited you because you were just with that person trip. And it's like, whoa, like what a realization, right? But like it's also such a beautiful journey when you take that first step. Very quickly, actually, you get the rewards of it. That's the great news. And of course, it takes a lot of time to come back, to grieve, to reclaim like your inner compass and your inner strength, but literally nothing on earth is worth more than that.
Yeah.
Nothing on earth is worth more than you finding your light again, finding your power, finding your North Star again, and making a vow to yourself. And I think, Lauren, we talked about this like some months ago, like just making that promise to yourself that I will never do that. I will never abandon myself again.
Yeah.
I made that promise.
I will never abandon myself again. I
Yeah.
made that so clear after the end of one of my relationships. I know you've made that promise to yourself too after this dynamic, and like it's such a powerful thing we can do. That is you reclaiming your power and trust on yourself, which is the most important part of this equation, because we can talk about these fellows all we want, and yes, it's fun, and yes, it's interesting to psychoanalyze and learn, but also you only can save you. You only can break these cycles, and you only can say enough is enough. I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
Right?
I truly believe that like the real healing work in this is doing whatever you need to do to love yourself so much that someone else's worth that cost you yourself is not worth it. Because you love yourself so much, you've come back to yourself so much, you've re-tapped into the things that bring you joy, the things that you're passionate about, that you remember that anyone else's love is not worth it. And the people who truly love you will love you for who you are and where you're at, and challenge you to grow, challenge you to expand, not challenge you to shrink.
Yeah, challenge you to be better.
So this takes time. It's a spiritual recovery. Once you finally leave, I always recommend close contact, full clean break.
I agree.
Clean broken bones heal faster.
You need that at least for some time. Again, it doesn't mean it's forever, but trust.
It should probably be forever.
Trust your big sisters. It should at least be for quite a fucking while.
Yeah.
If not forever.
Yeah. Once you have that, you will be sad about that, but the biggest grief is going to be the grieving of what you lost in yourself. But through community, time, therapy, expressing that anger and giving yourself the grace, returning to the things that made you you heal.
Yeah.
And you know what? Make a promise to yourself, and also make a new vow to yourself. When you come out of something like this, 12 out of 10 recommend you date yourself for quite a while.
That the best healing that I've had is dating myself. Yep. Because once you give yourself everything you need, why would you accept
you feel very
subpar from someone else? If I can give everything I want to myself, why would I partner myself with someone who can't meet me there?
Yeah, and when you're in that energy, like genuinely, right? You're so full.
Yeah. And
you really love your life. It's very hard to get caught.
A relationship,
a lot harder to get caught.
And you'll know, like, someone could fake it, right? You'll know. If you are like in your wholeness and your energy and your sovereignty, you'll know.
Because you'll start to feel confused if it's not right. You'll start to question yourself if it's not right. You'll start
to bail early.
You'll start to see these signs. You have to trust it the first time.
And you will get physically sick. That is one thing we didn't really touch on, but you will, as a highly sensitive person, especially if you have come to this point of learning, right? And you've left something like this and you're like, I don't want this to happen again. Just listen to your body. Your mind will catch it later. Your mind will try to negotiate, reject them somehow. Either you're going to get a UTI, you're going to get a yeast infection in an abnormal way.
You're going to be exhausted.
You're getting like a weird physical symptom, or you get super sick in the first weeks of dating them. These are not accidents. I swear to God, I have never had that happen with someone that wasn't a warning.
Specifically on the UTIs and yeast infections.
Especially with the womb. Especially with the womb. If you have
that's your body rejecting
your body's
them.
Immediately like, nah, no.
Absolutely not.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Something's off.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
So, you guys, we talked about a lot of stuff.
We did.
Let's just take a deep breath. Woo, you guys.
Wow. What a doozy.
Yes. We did it.
We
got through.
If this episode resurfaced or surfaced something within you, it's not a coincidence, okay? Talk to someone that you trust. maybe it's time to open up. And please, if you know someone in this situation, or if that situation is you, share this episode with them, with someone who needs it. That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. And if you want a community of people who have journeyed through this and who talk about it and heal together all the time, it's literally what we do at National Intuitive Academy.
We got you, babe.
So we got you, babe. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Stay safe out there.
That's the tea.
Share with a friend, leave us a review.
And follow us on Instagram at National Intuitive Academy.